dominated the world have used money to rule it and have ruled it in their own interest. It looks at a world economic system that has no regard for the poor, that has no regard for the small nations, that has no regard for the poor of the small nations. And the policy is a dignified policy, is not a violent policy, is not a policy of guns. It's a very honorable policy, but it is a very clear policy. It is a policy that calls the poor of the world to stand together, to stand firm together, to struggle together, to struggle for change, to struggle for justice, to struggle through organization, to struggle through will, to struggle through determination, to struggle to build a new kind of world in which your children and mine will walk with more dignity, with better housing, with better opportunity, with better prices, with better response from the world monetary system. That is the world to which I call you. That is the world for which I struggle, and no power will turn me back from that world. And comrades, if you go and walk with me, if you go and step with me, if you go and move with me, we're moving as warriors. We're moving in determination. We're moving to struggle. We're moving to change that world. No power will turn us back.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
But if change is what we really want to see, ladies and gentlemen, then we must rise up. We must unite. We must advocate. We cannot remain silent. Where are the young men, the young women, the men, the women, the boys, the girls who will put aside political divide and do what is best for Jamaica? Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Even our pledge, our national pledge, says before God and all mankind, we cannot see a better Jamaica unless we return to the foot of the cross. Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play our part.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now, because I've been to the mountaintop. I don't mind. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing.
I said I'm happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his hand. Yes, mommy, I see you. Yes, the journey's almost over. Shut up. And the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I have a feeling in my heart. The best is yet to come. Slide up it. Over there, so wanna ready to get, wanna get up now, man. Wanna get up now, man. I feel mad in this place. Let's go. I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his. Over there, so I said the journey's almost over. I know the battle is nearly won, and I have a feeling in my heart, the best is yet. Come on, sir. I said the best is yet to come. When I walk through heaven's gates, yeah, I said the first time I'll see Jesus, I can hardly wait. And he showed me to a mansion and said, child, this is your home. And I have a feeling in my heart. You know this one? Listen.
Oh, you know. I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. We have done now. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear archangel. Oh, I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless you now. I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody do so. Everybody do so. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be here. Get something and wave it. Get something and wave it. Get something and. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be happy. Walk out, Christian, walk out, Christian. I only live my life to please. Send me rocking for the road and the star on my phone. I only live my life to please. Live up my life. Come on, man, we have done, man. Everybody, so. Live up my life. Live in Jesus. silent night. What a holy night. But your virgin mother and child. Holy, so tender. Talk to me now. But sweetly, God bless you, God bless you. Let me tell some people, I know one prayer we pray.
Blood and fire, comrades who are in jungle tonight. On the nose that the word is love. Comrades, I come with a speech, but it's a different speech may I forgive tonight. But before I go into that, we have been saying all night that young people know say time come. And I want to bring up a young man who has looked for himself, him read for himself, him search for himself, and when him done, him realize that the only choice he could choose is the People's National Party. And I want to welcome Comrade Perry.
Hold on. We don't have much time. When I say time, you say come. Time. Senator Murray, somebody asked me, Perry, why aren't you a Labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho. Who you know? Underpants, Paolo. We don't get in
hold on, cut in, man, hold on.
Me coulda never green.
Hold on, no DJ, man, hold on. I don't have much time. The next Prime Minister, let me shake your hand, so big up yourself, Mark Golding, Jensek, and brother, Dayton Campbell, doctor. Listen, in 1938, the People's National Party was formed out of the vision to help the poor people. It was born out of restlessness of the people seeking for better. And I believe that the People's National Party continues to be the answer for the people. Can I hear an amen? Hold on. In 1995, under the auspices of P.J. Patterson, the most honorable, there was a revitalization and an extension of the new National Youth Service Program, which gave young people the opportunity to earn Commander Man Church. It gave people the opportunity to better themselves. I don't have much time, but hear what? I hear the other people them say, you must choose Jamaica, but you can't choose Jamaica without choosing the people. God bless you.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho. Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow.
Move your flag, comrades.
Comrades, I want to let you know that young man is the former guild president at the University of the West Indies. That is the kind of young people that we attract in the People's National Party.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them a rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. Mr. Prime Minister, are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this are my perspective, telling you my perspective. These are my perspective to bring change that I feel me.
Ladies and gentlemen, blessings to you all. I hope that you are doing well. It is what? Holy Thursday? Is it really a Holy Thursday in Jamaica? Wow. Is it really a Holy Thursday? It is a disgraceful Thursday for Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen. When I look at what is happening in the news, and we are going to be having some very serious, thought-provoking conversations, must-have conversations that will cause us to think objectively, considerably, understanding the dynamics of the political landscape. But for now, please like up the live. Remember to like the live, ladies and gentlemen. Share the live, like the live if you're watching. Please subscribe. Only subscribers can comment, and we want you to engage the chat. Whether you are a Labourite or not, or independent, we want to hear your perspectives too. Yeah, man, give us an opportunity to debunk your lies. So please subscribe so that you can comment in the chat. But ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here. We're grateful. Tomorrow is considered the Good Friday. This season is celebrated as the season where we acknowledge the death, burial, and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Oh, what a change in my life when Jesus died on the cross for my sins, your sins. John 3:16 popularly declares, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life." So we want to remain sober in this season. Let us not allow the politics to consume us to the point where we fail to put aside some time for the Lord. I have several events coming up over this weekend, starting tomorrow in the evening, right? Which means that tomorrow evening we will be having a pre-recorded show. Yes, I have a Good Friday concert in the evening. Sunday, I will also be out. Easter Monday, I will also be out. So expect to see some pre-recorded sessions, or I may jump on using my phone, as you would all have experienced in time past, where I would use my other phone, my phone, when I am out of studio. But when we get to that bridge, we will cross it. For now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for choosing the perspective this evening. God is indeed a good God. We are grateful and we are thankful. A lot of things to discuss. We're going to get into it, but I've been hearing some things regarding the United States and the Iran war. Ladies and gentlemen, pressure is bursting the pipes.
Meanwhile, President Donald Trump insisting that the U.S. is nearing victory in that war and Iran is no longer the bully in West Asia. However, in retaliation to Trump's claims, Iran's military vowing to carry out crushing attacks against the United States and Israel after Trump threatened to bomb the country into the Stone Ages in the coming weeks. Listen to this first.
With trust in Almighty God, this war will continue until your humiliation, disgrace, permanent and certain regret and surrender. In continuation of the heavy and severe blows you have received so far, expect even stronger. Await our more crushing, broader and more destructive actions.
Remember, in his address to the nation, Donald Trump claimed that Iran is really no longer a threat just after 32 days of the U.S. military operations.
As I stated in my announcement of Operation Epic Fury, our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders. That means eliminating Iran's Navy, which is now absolutely destroyed, hurting their Air Force and their missile program at levels never seen before, and annihilating their defense industrial base. We've done all of it. Their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their missiles are just about used up or beaten. Taken together, these actions will cripple Iran military, crush their ability to support terrorist proxies, and deny them the ability to build a nuclear bomb.
But even as Trump spoke, Iran fired missiles and drones at Israel and across the Gulf states. Israel's military saying air defenses responded to waves of Iranian missile fire before, during, and after the speech. The US and Israel claim to have destroyed most of the ballistic missiles and launchers. They have also decimated many Iranian factories that produce missiles and drones. That's the claim. But Iran continues to fire missiles and drones to attack targets. Another stated goal is the destruction of Iran's navy. The US and Israeli strikes have hit several Iranian navy targets and even killed the IRGC naval commander. IRGC Special Unit Commander Muhammad Ali, commander of the Fatahin Special Unit of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, also killed amid the ongoing US-Israeli strikes on the country, according to state-affiliated media. The action against Iran's so-called proxies has not produced a definite result. The most powerful of Iran's allies, Hezbollah, has been attacked by Israel but has not been destroyed. The Houthis have remained largely untouched in a way. Iran-backed groups in Iraq were targeted by US strikes after they fired rockets at US diplomatic buildings. But a number of paramilitary Iraqi forces have entered Iran as US threatened ground invasion. Trump says Iran now does not have the ability to produce nuclear weapons ever, but its own intelligence agencies assessing that Iran was not developing one anyway. The Trump administration has pointed to Iran's highly enriched uranium, but even that remains within Iran. The Trump administration has shifted the rationale over the goal of a regime change. The president now saying that he did not want to force one, but also claiming that a regime change has already happened. When the war started, remember, Trump had asked people in Iran to seize the opportunity, but any popular uprising did not materialize.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is what is happening. That's the latest from our international news, where the United States and Iran are concerned. Very interesting change or turn of events. Mr. Trump is hinting at ending the war. Why? Because Iran, old Persia, they are standing 10 toes down, ladies and gentlemen. They are making it very clear that they have no intentions of backing down. They have leverage because they control the Strait of Hormuz. That passageway, ladies and gentlemen, gives access to 20% of the world's oil. If that, ladies and gentlemen, is shut down, America will also suffer. I heard that there was a massive protest in the United States. Massive protests asking for Mr. Trump to step down. But listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not surprised. I told you all that I don't think Trump is going to be firing any nuclear bombs. He wouldn't. I don't think it is. Not saying that it is impossible, but I just didn't see the war going down that road. Iran is going to stand firm, ladies and gentlemen. I saw even an ad from the Gleaner, I believe, a cartoon, where Donald Trump has his eyes on Cuba, but he's saying, let me test the waters first before I cross the river, the water to go to Cuba. And when you look in the water, a lot of sharks are there. What they're really saying is that Trump underestimated Iran and thought that because he's the big bad Uncle Sam, that he could bully Iran and get his way. But when they actually see the tenacity of Iran, it has caused them to look in another direction. Now they are having conversations of ending the war. More is coming. We are in the last days. If this war ends, ladies and gentlemen, other wars are coming. Let me know where you're viewing from, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat. I saw Maypen, Clarendon, Yes Voice for Jamaica. About 7 million people protested against Trump. When are we going to see our own protest in this country to get rid of this Prime Minister? Or everybody wants to have selective outrage? We're coming to that in a bit. Monchanil, East Portland, blessings to you. Blessings, 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 blessings. Kingston at work. Queens, New York. Blessings, blessings, blessings. South Florida is watching. Blessings to Longville Park. Clarendon. Blessings, Daniel Taylor. Always with your prior voice notes in the mornings, eh? Portmore, New Jersey. Southfield, St. Elizabeth. Maypen, Clarendon. Watching from London, Queens, New York. Virginia. Carol Banton. Blessings to you. Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, Wisconsin, New York, Falmouth. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Atlanta, Port Antonio, Big Canada. Yes, Kingston 20 is in the house. Nathan, how things? Mountain View, Silo, St. Elizabeth. CT is here. Firehouse is here. UK, England. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. Like up the live, like up the live, like up the live. Yes, Florida. Blessings, blessings. While you type where you are from, just like up the live same time. Delaware, USA, Bogwalk is in the house. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you. South St. Catherine, blessings again. Queens, New York, Rosedale, blessings to you, Cardo, Bancroft. Just about everybody who is on the perspective tonight. Monique, Saint Anne. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very serious problem in this country. And again, conversations about our roads must be had. Edgewater, Portmore, blessings to you, St. Martin. Because it seems as if, ladies and gentlemen, there has been a total ignoring of the very serious benefits that we could get if we had proper road infrastructure in this country. I don't know what the Minister of Road and Works has been up to for these years, but clearly, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very serious concern, and I don't see anybody asking for the minister to step down. I don't hear the advocacy groups raising serious concerns about the state of our road infrastructure. Lowidersville, St. Catherine, Aldine, Henry, blessings to you. Dorna Johnson from Brooklyn, New York. Where are the advocates? Where is the outcry as it relates to our road infrastructure in this country? We don't see the outcry, ladies and gentlemen, for better roads in this country. Though the evidence is there that there has been a deliberate and intentional plot to ignore the road infrastructure in this country right across Jamaica. And we're not making up stories, ladies and gentlemen. It is here for all of us to see.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Motorists in Westmoreland say they're at their wits' end over the poor state of the roads in Savlamar. Kimberly Petty has their story.
Watch as this car carefully maneuvers the road. As the traffic piles up along the Dunbars River Main Road in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. Also in traffic, a police vehicle. The person behind the wheel trying hard to avoid the potholes. Motorists say they are frustrated.
We keep on for the bypass the truck and vehicle straight every week. I don't care when I load tire, cost your tire, all engine we cost you. So why I don't know? Down here, so now I get no help, none at all.
I just front end parts here, problem. Believe me, if the government even give it double for the race, if I even 100% race, it's still not help. I wrote them with that one and fix it. The best thing can do for it.
You mean from Melissa? It's been how much months now? And this road is one of the main thoroughfares in that Westmoreland. And you want to see the traffic during the day, especially school time. When you go to school here, it's bad, man. It's really, really bad. School time now, the government or the relevant authorities deal with Westmoreland on a whole.
Not too far away is Lewis Street. It's the main thoroughfare for many road users. Motorists believe if it's not fixed urgently, the worst will happen.
Man, everybody are going to lick up, man, one day run us here. Yeah, man, run us need to fix, man, and the government need to fix run us. And the MP they need to step up in us. Any MP where they say, isn't me?
This tour bus operator pointed to the lack of street lights along the bad roads. He says he's fearful, especially at nights.
This is a dangerous road because since Melissa, they haven't put up any street lights. So when you have to almost come to a halt, at night in the dark, no street lights, it's difficult. Anybody can walk up on you and do what they have to do. Unless you plan to mash up your vehicle and drive high speed through the patrol.
We put the issue to Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland, Dwayne Vaz. He cited insufficient funds as for the main reason for the delay in getting the roads fixed.
Well, as we know, the roads were bad before Hurricane Melissa. They got worse after Hurricane Melissa. But what we have been able to do is to do some level of patching on the main roads, especially that part coming into Savlamar. So we did some work in the Landala area, we did some work on the Farm Pen area, some work in Strathbogie, and some work in Smithfield. Let me explain more about Strathbogie though. The funding that we got was not sufficient. So therefore we were able to patch a section in Torrington, but the section in front of the Unity Primary School coming down to Dunbars River, that section was not patched.
He made this appeal to the NWA.
So we're calling on the National Works Agency. We have been in dialogue with them. We have heard that a new patching program should start in the new financial year. So we're expecting to address those additional issues in that patching.
Kimberly Petty for TVJ News.
Now, the National Works Agency, NWA, says it's in the final stages of a major road rehabilitation program across Westmoreland following significant damage caused by Hurricane Melissa. The agency adds that the project is valued at $45.7 million.
$44.7 how much? $million. More millions, ladies and gentlemen, millions and millions to spend to do what? Just patch a little, there and everywhere. Who will be getting the contracts, NWA, to fix the roads across Westmoreland and other places? Are we going to see another waste of taxpayers' dollars again? Now the MP is letting you know that the roads were terrible long before Melissa. They only got worse. And I want to put into context, ladies and gentlemen, that the Prime Minister made it very clear that the MPs are not allowed to fix roads. It's not the MP's duty to fix roads. We have the National Road Agency, National Works Agency, to do that. We have NWA to do that. It is the government, ladies and gentlemen, who should be doing these things to ensure that the roads are fixed. We need to stop blame MPs when it comes to the roads. The MPs can only speak up and speak out and ask NWA to come and fix the roads, but it's not the MP's duty, ladies and gentlemen. So I am asking the government, NWA, the minister in charge of road and works, you're going to Peru if you're not gone yet with your other members to try and get ideas as to how you can address the road infrastructure in this country. I am asking if at this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, shouldn't we be asking for this minister to step aside? Shouldn't we be asking this minister of road and works to step aside? Haven't we suffered enough? The motorists, when will you come and ask for this minister to step aside? When will we ask the entire NWA to be reshuffled? Take out the incompetent members. Those who are giving them are give them friend contracts with no results. Why aren't we asking for these persons to step down, resign, and allow people who know how to fix road come and get the job? At this point in time, ladies and gentlemen, it is not enough for us to be having one-sided conversations. We cannot have one-sided conversations. For years we've been seeing our roads becoming more deplorable, more atrocious, and all it does, ladies and gentlemen, is to aggravate Jamaican people. And sir, see, when the motorists drop in pothole, lick out front end, it is the same traffic authority that is going to come and write up tickets. But it is all a ploy, ladies and gentlemen. You think they are going to fix these roads good once and for all? No. They need to have a reason to give you your tickets, because they need to raise money to fund the deficits. So you think that this corrupt administration was going to give you a pretty road and smooth road to drive upon, when they are on the hunt now for many billions of dollars, as is possible for them to get from your pocket, motorists? No, you have to drop in pothole. You have to lick out your front end. You have to bust up your tire and twist your rims. All of that must happen so that the traffic authority can come and write up tickets so that they can get money out of your pockets. You don't know that they get a quota. You don't know that they get a quota. You don't think that a lot of them friends own the auto parts shops. Money have to be coming in. Parts of your change. It is a ring of deception, lies, and a ploy, ladies and gentlemen, to oppress the poor. I was driving the other day, I think it was my dad's vehicle or a rental or something, I don't even remember when. And I kid you not, when you are on the roads these days, ladies and gentlemen, traffic authorities scattered. They are here to oppress poor people. Nobody is asking for the resignation of this minister. He has no clue as to what to do to better the road infrastructure in this country. I don't hear anybody asking for him to step down. Yet, Labour Rights and PNP drive on these atrocious roads. Everybody vehicle are dropping a pothole. Everybody vehicle are mash up. Everybody front and a look out. Both labor rights and PMP, yet we want to have our selective outrage. Everybody is feeling it. Everybody know that the roads are terrible. Everybody know that they have left the roads high and dry, mash up. Nobody's looking at them. We know that this has been happening for some time. We know that Melissa only caused the roads to become worse. Melissa isn't the reason why our roads became bad in this country. The state of our roads reflects the government that is in leadership today. Mash up, dig out, patch up. When you look at our roads, it's a representative of a lack of vision. When you look at our roads, you look at the Andrew Holness administration. A whole lot of mix-up, animosity, dig out, wanna patch up, half done work. And nobody's asking for Mr. Morgan to step down. They have to sit in their positions. Collect, see, $40 million supposed to spend in Westmoreland, and when they say that they're going to fix the roads, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to last 3 weeks. The stretch of road in Tufton's constituency that they claim to fix the other day, not even a month, I kid you not even 3 weeks after them patch up the road, taking taxpayers' dollars to patch the roads, no proper material. I kid you not, ladies and gentlemen. Not even 3 weeks. I think we got 2 days of rain, heavy rain. And by the second week, going into the third week, we started to see the road sinking, lean up, patch up. But it's a lean up government, ladies and gentlemen. It's a patchy government.
And if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say, pop. Lord God, badam, bam. Jesus Christ, what is what? Pop.
The roads are worse now. That piece of road, Mr. Tufton, it is worse now. Traffic start build up again. Big potholes start dig out again. What is the point? What is the point? Where are the voices to ask Mr. Morgan to step down and for an audit to be done where the National Road Work Agency is concerned? Who is going to ask for the audit in NWA? Because no, at this point in time, the people are being scammed. That's my opinion. You tell us about the millions of dollars that you're going to be spending on roads, but when we look at the finished product, there is nothing to show. So who is going to ask for the audit into NWA? I am asking for the audit into NWA. I want the Ministry of Road and Works to be properly audited. We need to know what the money is being spent on. You cannot be getting all of these millions of dollars to fix Jamaican road, to fix poor people road, and what to do with the money. We see a whole lot of mall, no asphalt. And as rain fall, ladies and gentlemen, the same road dig up again. Can we get an audit? Can we get an audit into NWA? Who is overseeing the transactions and the intricacies of NWA? Who is ensuring that the people are getting value for their money? What is happening in NWA? What is happening in the Ministry of Road and Works? That's what I'm asking.
For over a month, sewage has been flooding sections of Coley-Smith Drive, a major thoroughfare in Trenchtown. As you'll hear in this report, residents are also upset about the lack of updates being provided by government agencies carrying out work in the area. Jamaica Maitland reports.
Raw sewage gushes from a manhole along Coley-Smith Drive in St. Andrew. According to residents, it's been this way for close to 3 weeks now, smelly, stagnant and pooling on the road surface.
And many of our fellow residents, occupiers of the house on this side of the road, are being affected by the raw sewage that is settling. We have to lock up our houses, a lot of black mosquitoes as a result of the raw sewage. So we want NWC to come and look at the problem.
TVJ News observed men from the National Water Commission, NWC, working. However, we were told that they were only fixing the water pipes that also collapsed.
We have to be carrying water from the other side of the community. We set up 12 o'clock at night and get water from some low pipe and wash till 5 o'clock in the morning and things like that. So it has been a real struggle for many of us.
Coley-Smith Drive is being rehabilitated under the Spark program. It started over a year ago. Residents complain, however, that there is little to no communication on the timeline of the project's completion. Additionally, the broken sewage pipelines have made the situation worse.
We know that getting the road, you're going to have a look with a lot of teething pains also, but since the road work start, the pipeline on this side of the road, it's the fourth time it's bursting, and each time we're waiting days and days to get water.
Police officers have not been spared the presence and the stench of the sewage either. Outside the Trenchtown station, there is a stagnant pool of sewage. Taxi operators, however, have used construction material debris to block the sewage from overrunning the street and the sidewalks.
It's a big problem. If you go right now up there, it's a river. It's a riverbed. You understand? We have to turn the thing in the gully. You understand? And it's not safe for the sewage to burn, the raw sewage to burn into the gully because it's going to the sea. You understand? That's a lot of contamination.
Shops have since closed their doors because there is no vehicular access. Then there's the stench, so potent that it forces people to stay inside. But for communities like Trenchtown, residents depend on the local economy to survive. Bar owner Nisha Myers argued that there needs to be a balance between the development and addressing the community's concerns.
It makes business bad. Customers don't want to come out here, come hang out because it smells real bad.
Councillor for the Trenchtown Division, Sarah Marshall, says there have been several reports made to the NWC. She was advised that a section of the sewer collapsed and that the project was awarded to a contractor to carry out replacement work. As it relates to how soon that project will begin, TVJ News could not ascertain that information up to news time. Meanwhile, communications manager at the NWC, Delana Williams, says a team will be sent to the locations to further assess and review the situation. Jamaica Maitland, TVJ News.
Sakata. We are mash up here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the police station is right next to the stagnant water. The road bad this up, the pipe water mash up. You see how disgraceful the entire country is? The people are at risk of getting sick, ladies and gentlemen. Our roads are, look at the sewage water oozing. Vehicle driving through it. People have to be walking through it. Yes, Voice of Jamaica, come on, like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. I don't want to take a break so early in the show for us to like up the live. Like up the live. Look at the state of the place. This is what many voted for. This is what Many voted for. You don't hear an outcry for these things, ladies and gentlemen. The bar operator is complaining because nobody not going to come and sit down and drink anything with that stench next to them. The police of not even no regard. The police station is right there. And everybody driving through it, everybody walking through it. Oh, nobody now block no road, ladies and gentlemen. But because of the JLP in power,
them on fire. And if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say pop, 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 pop. Aim. Sakata. We are mash up, you know. Fire under the Holy Ghost. Every crisis, every condition, every operation of hell. Fire, fire, Bishop. I got your back. Fire, fire. Jesus Christ, watch the operation. Watch the operation. Jesus Christ, Eastwood Park Road. Come on.
because the Jamaica Labour Party is in government and many of you are Labourites, our Labourites, because uno bro God in power, you prefer to sit in nastiness. You prefer to walk through dude water. Business prefer lock up and not make no money because the Andrew Holness government is in power. We don't want it to look bad. Look how calm everybody be. Where are the days? Bring back the days when people would not care about who is in power. Nobody is willing to even block the road when the placard them there. Fix the road. Fix the pipe. Are you bewitched, Jamaica? Am I to believe that you are all bewitched? Are you under a spell? Your children will have to walk through that. It is attracting flies and dogs and mosquitoes and all of these things. What are you going to wait on? For people to catch malaria? Dengue? I don't know what else can break out there. It's as if this country has been bewitched by some sorcerer. Nobody wants to speak up and call out administration for their incompetence. Look at the state of our roads. Look at the state of our sewage system. Look at the state of our drainage system. Look at the blatant corruption in this country. And it is business as usual. Something is severely wrong with Jamaica. Something is seriously wrong with this country. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take our first break. When we come back, we touch on some more serious matters.
The perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. It's a prime minister. Are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this are my perspective.
And Pro Therapy, we are here. Are you frustrated with your skincare? Are you tired of acne, blemishes, scars, sagging skin, wrinkles, discoloration? Why not enjoy our wide array of products, from skin, hair, and personal care? Place your frustration on our shoulders, and we will get you smiling again. The power of our products are in our formulation and ingredients. Listen to our customer testimonial. This is what she has to say.
Oh my gosh, look at my face. I've been using these products for a year, exactly 1 year. If you have not tried them, you need to try them. They really work. Look at my skin.
Visit our website or contact us at 917-557-6204. Make it Tony and Organics and order yours today.
And Pro Therapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish, and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings, and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub.
Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation, guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center just 10 minutes away from two major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Dublin Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-573-9124.
Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where our first social media question tonight comes from Instagram. Shania in Kingston, she says, low voter turnout suppresses the effectiveness of a democratic society. Many Jamaicans refuse to vote because they believe both parties are corrupt. What would you say to the significant population of non-voters? And if elected, how will you hold politicians accountable for offenses against the people instead of protecting them?
So in this instance, the question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Corruption is a serious problem in our country, and corruption requires strong leadership. From my position as Prime Minister, I have taken action against any member of my political party that has been involved or accused of anything that suggests corruption. In my own case, I have been investigated for a year with an expert forensic auditor. The findings of that report have suggested no corruption. There have been no charges. Every aspect of my report, every aspect of my personal life and my personal financial details are in the public domain. I am the politician about which Jamaica knows the most. And therefore, I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. And I want to give this assurance to the Jamaican people that you know me, you know about me, you can trust me, and you know that I stand against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well.
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account, that your companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed it. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that has been asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism and cronyism. The volume of scandal under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over a number of ministers who had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked. It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is The Perspective, and I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr. We're going to get into the Jack Den issue again because apparently there is a great outcry. Somebody saying that there's feedback. Are you hearing a feedback, ladies and gentlemen? Are you hearing a feedback? I hope it was just a brief feedback. I hope it was just a brief feedback. Yes. Alright, lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jack Den issue, it has become a very broad and wide conversation. We're going to touch it. Before we get to that, let us also touch on the fact that 9 JUTC drivers were charged, and the company is saying that more charges are coming. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome this. Thieves must be held accountable, and that is the reason why I am wondering why to date we don't hear nothing about Ruel Reid. We don't hear nothing about some of the other politicians. We don't hear anything about them as yet.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
First up this evening, more charges pending. That declaration from the Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, after 9 of its drivers have been charged in connection with offenses relating to the alleged misappropriation of fares and failure to issue tickets to passengers.
Now, this involves over 100 counts for failure to issue tickets to passengers. Ramardo Lyons has the details.
Drivers of these buses have been taking commuters across the island for years. Now, some of them are going to court. Multiple counts of embezzlement. 106 counts for failure to issue tickets to passengers. 9 drivers assigned to multiple depots for JUTC are at the center of these charges, now with a ticket to see a judge at the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court come April 21. And the company says more charges could come crashing in as a police probe continues. The drivers were charged between March 18 to March 26, 2026. The alleged offenses occurred across multiple dates in February and March 2026. JUTC says it has since strengthened its internal systems. I submitted a list of questions to the company's communications manager, Chantal Thompson, following the charges. Question 1. What specific monitoring systems has the company implemented or upgraded? In a written response, Ms. Thompson said, quote, "This includes closer alignment between daily cash collections and expected route revenue, as well as improved depot-level monitoring and reconciliation processes." End quote. She said, quote, "The majority of JUTC buses are equipped with onboard cameras, which serve as an additional layer of oversight and accountability. These systems support both operational monitoring and investigative reviews where necessary." End quote. She added that the company also continues to advance its transition towards cashless systems such as Smart Fare, which significantly reduces opportunities for manual interference. Is there real-time monitoring, or are audits conducted after? Ms. Thompson said JUTC utilizes a hybrid approach. While some elements such as supervisory checks, commuter reports, and camera monitoring provide near real-time insights, formal audits and reconciliations are conducted daily and periodically to identify trends and anomalies. What safeguards are in place to prevent drivers from bypassing ticket issuance? Ms. Thompson pointed to mandatory ticket issuance policies with strict accountability measures, random spot checks and en route inspections, and public education encouraging commuters to request and retain tickets. Now, preliminary internal analysis indicates a notable increase in fare revenue collection in the days following the arrests. At the Portmore Depot, there's an increase of approximately $1.23 million. At the Spanish Town Depot, $482,000. Rockfort, $619,000. When asked how much money JUTC lost, Ms. Thompson said revenue increased by $3.5 million in 1 week after the 9 drivers were charged. Now finally, what disciplinary systems are in place for breaches? Ms. Thompson said these are guided by the company's internal policies and may include formal warnings and suspension, termination of employment, or referral to law enforcement authorities where criminal conduct is suspected. Romarda Lyons, TVJ News.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for staying with me. We're going to touch on some very important matters now. Before I get to the Jack Den, let me address this. I am happy that some drivers will be charged. When will we see this swift and assertive move into the criminals that continues to sit in our parliament? They beat the decks, they shout on top of their voices, they laugh and squander taxpayers' dollars. When will we see that swift action? Which it tells me, ladies and gentlemen, that the relevant authorities, they have no problem holding on to criminals. It was just the other day we heard that there was some fraudulent activities happening with the JUTC bus drivers now. Remember, it's not no whole heap of months, it's not no whole heap of years. Which tells me that we are quite able to deal with fraud, misappropriation, mismanagement of funds. We are well able to deal with theft. It is no incompetence on the part of the relevant authorities. So my humble question is this, ladies and gentlemen, like up the live. Why is it that we are yet to see a swift action and investigation into the many matters that has been coming before us, coming from Parliament, our politicians, our government officials. When are we going to see the swift action into the arrest of some of these criminals?
One by one, who no go into jail. One by who no go into. One by.
But because you don't have a certain last name, because you are the little man, because you don't have on a 3-piece suit, because you're not getting millions per month or millions per year, you are more susceptible to being caught. Not that I am against the JUTC drivers being caught. Thieves are thieves, and thieves must serve their time behind bars. I am talking about the other thieves, the popular thieves, the likable thieves. But thief not like fizzy thief with long bag. So they are quick to mobilize more and this and that and everybody to arrest other criminals. But the criminals in our parliament, they must continue to strive and live and rub up our money, and nothing comes out of it. But police cancel operation. No real bad man a go station. So when you check his situation, a blood money running nation. So when you're looking at Jamaica, injustice in the place, police cancel operation, ladies and gentlemen. Because the real bad man them in parliament, they are not going to be behind bars. You can't bring rich politicians to station, you mad? How dare you? When I have millions of dollars can buy out the case, and buy out judge, and buy out police officer, and buy out investigator. How dare you lock me up? How dare you investigate me when me can give you $5 million if you keep quiet and ensure that you sign to it so you can't move, you can't act? So today, ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that there is a great outcry. A great outcry. And this is a breaking news. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a massive outcry from several advocacy groups and other organizations calling for Mr. Dennis Gordon, member of the PAC meeting, CEO of Jacqueline Group of Companies, to step aside, as it is said, ladies and gentlemen, that it is a conflict of interest for this individual and this company to be a part of the PAC while such serious matters are here for the world to see. I'm going to play a few things and let us get into the perspective tonight. I have quite a lot to say.
Thank you for joining us. Now the details. Up first this afternoon, watchdog group Jamaica Accountability Meter Portal JAMP is calling for the law to be enforced when entities fail to provide the Auditor General with information during audits. This follows discussions on the Auditor General's report on the University Hospital of the West Indies, which highlighted several breaches at the facility. Executive Director of JAMP, Jeanette Calder, says the report indicates that the Auditor General was unable to receive information on several contracts from the hospital. Now, technocrats from the UHWI were able to provide that same information to the Public Accounts Committee on Tuesday.
No documentation can be given to an Auditor General for the entire period of this audit. However, Mr. Hosin goes in as the new CEO and insists in whatever way he's able to do it. And they have now found almost everything, 28 and then 22. And he advised that an extra one that we called incomplete was actually found. That is actually a breach of the law to not provide the Auditor General with documentation. And I believe, Dion, there are reasons why they are withheld. Sometimes, I don't know in this case, but there is also sanctions in the law, and we never, ever, ever enforce those sanctions.
Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, Julian Robinson, has disclosed that the principal of Jackden has repaid the amount he saved through the University Hospital of the West Indies tax exemption status. Now, Jackden Limited, of which People's National Party Member of Parliament for St. Andrew East Central Dennis Gordon is the Chief Executive Officer, was one of 4 companies that benefited from the University Hospital's tax exemption status. Mr. Robinson says Mr. Gordon told him that a little over $10 million has since been paid to the University Hospital of the West Indies.
$1 million. I don't think it has been said publicly, but he indicated that to me prior to the meeting on Tuesday. He recused himself from the meeting, which I indicated at the start of the meeting, but he indicated that that payment was in fact made to cover what those duties were.
The other companies that benefited through the tax exemption status are Supreme Laundry Services, Wilman Sales, and Scientific Medical Services. To other news, land settlement in Manchester remains.
Ladies and gentlemen, quite a lot is being stirred, and I'm going to be addressing a few things. Let us just get through the relevant clips. Oh boy, Lord give me strength tonight.
Auditor General Pamela Monroe Ellis says the boards of the University Hospital of the West Indies failed to implement the necessary standards, systems, and processes which are the foundation for employee conduct in an organization. During yesterday's sitting of the Public Accounts Committee, Mrs. Monroe Ellis noted that Section 6 of the Public Bodies Management and Accountability Act places the responsibility on boards to create a controlled environment to ensure the systems are implemented to protect the resources of the government. She says the hiring practices of the hospital for sensitive positions should also be reviewed.
It's just my view based on the pervasiveness of the issues reported here. We just identified a small fraction. We have all the reasons to believe that this had been happening a long time ago, so much so that I believe that the members of the university hospital may have become desensitized on this and probably not even recognize that what was happening was not right, because some may have inherited, continued it. So a culture change, I think, is also required. But Chair, the annual, the quarterly, and the reporting, that alone will not address these issues.
Ladies and gentlemen, hear me and hear me well. Hear me and hear me well. This is the reason why justice will never be served in Jamaica. Well, at least not to the extent that it should be served. Because in Jamaica, ladies and gentlemen, we recognize that there is a blatant and intentional ploy by the Jamaica Labour Party to have one-sided conversations. We recognize, ladies and gentlemen, that the Jamaica Labour Party, the Andrew Holness-led administration, many of these so-called advocacy groups, they are willing to have one-sided conversations. They are willing to play politics rather than advocating for true justice in this country. They want to do politicking. They want to go tit for tat. They want to score political points instead of getting to the root of the problem. I hear persons are asking in Perry, who are the owners of the other three companies involved in the US scandals? I can tell you this. We know that Jack Den Group of Companies, Dennis Gordon, also Supreme Laundry, is also an affiliate of the Jack Den Group of Companies. But as I said last night, ladies and gentlemen, I am not here to get into who own what. Listen to my perspective tonight. I am not going to come here and say, okay, who own the other companies? And Labour Right own the other companies? They should step down too. Hear my perspective. Hear my argument. Because the moment we get into that, we are playing into the same hand that I want to caution Jamaica against. So here we see former PNP Gensec calling for Dennis Gordon to step down from the PAC. I'm just going to get through everybody who is calling for him to step down, and then I will address the entire thing. Former Gensec of the PNP asking that he should be removed from the PAC. Jamaica for Justice is calling for Dennis Gordon to be removed from the PAC. The National NIA, National Integrity Action, I believe, is calling for Dennis Gordon to remove himself from the PAC. Young Jamaica, no surprise here, is asking for Julian Robinson to resign as the PAC chairman. And we know they had asked Mr. Gordon to step away from the PAC already. The former People's National Party Gensec Maxine Henry Wilson, everybody should hear that name and know that name, is calling on the Member of Parliament and Jack Den Limited's principal Dennis Gordon to recuse himself from Parliament's Public Accounts Committee until issues surrounding the University Hospital of the West Indies are fully addressed. Don't worry, I will be addressing some things later and then. Let me just give them opportunity. Let me just give them their opportunity to her comments follow a report by the Auditor General's Department, which found that Jack Den Limited was among 4 private companies that unlawfully benefited from the hospital's tax exemption status to import goods. Henry Wilson argues that the situation presents a potential conflict of interest and raises concerns about the inappropriate use of publicly funded facilities. All right. Let me address something here. Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. Like up the live. We're almost at 1,000 live viewers. Like up the live. I believe that the Jamaica Labour Party, the Andrew Holness-led administration, they have managed to influence and to probably even control several of these so-called advocacy groups. I think this administration, ladies and gentlemen, they have managed to infiltrate several organizations in this country to the point where what we have now in Jamaica is what you call a selective outrage. I understand the argument, Sister Maxine Henry, when you say conflict of interest and it probably doesn't look good that Mr. Gordon is on the committee while these matters are being discussed. But you know the problem I have with your statement, Sister Maxine Henry? I have a problem with your request because the Jamaica Customs, the Auditor General, made it very clear that legally Jack Den is not at fault. As a matter of fact, Jack Den would have paid over what, $10 million? And I'm saying, if we're going to look at this thing legally, come out of your feelings. Come out of the politics. Look at the facts. If we are going to argue facts, ladies and gentlemen, is Jack Den legally wrong? I am not going to get into the selective outrage with labor rights. I am not going to get into the selective outrage with advocacy groups. Because when we heard and we know for a fact that the statutory declarations for the Prime Minister could not be certified, I cannot recall such a great outrage from several of these advocacy groups saying that the Prime Minister must step aside.
So them on fire, and if the enemy are fire,
I didn't hear such a...
You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say pop, 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 pop. Lord God, badam, bam, bam, bam.
Where and I'm going to stand with Comrade Leader. And this is what you've never heard the Prime Minister say. You've never heard the Prime Minister say, let the chips fall where them fall. It is Mr. Golden who stood up and said, listen, let the chips fall where them fall. You see, unlike many of you so-called advocates, many of you are funded by political organizations. So you have to say what you are instructed to say. I can say boldly that if a PNP MP or minister is wrapped up in corruption, you must go to prison. PNP don't pay me. YouTube pay me. So unlike you, Young Jamaica, unlike you, Mr. Marlon Morgan, unlike you, Nationwide, I can say in the face of People's National Party, if you are wrong, you are wrong. If you are held liable for something, and and you must face the court, and if you must go to prison, go to prison. When last has the Prime Minister of this country made a statement like that? That is what I am asking. Don't come to me with your fake outrage. JFJ, NIA, and all the other A's, and all the other advocacy groups. Where were your voices when Dr. Christopher Tufton name was being called up in the Market Me scandal? Where were those voices? Where were the voices when Minister Vaz breached procurement guidelines? Labor rights, come on, let me talk with you. Because I've already made my statement very clear enough. If the investigations should prove even further that Jack Den is indeed at fault, then Mr. Gordon, you will have to go to prison. If it is that you were indeed caught up in fraud, then you must go to jail. I don't care who you are. So I can talk boldly and freely. But as it is, Customs and the Auditor General said the man no wrong. What are you coming out to try and spread into the public? When Minister Vaz breached procurement guidelines for the Starlink, I'm talking to you, Jamaica for Justice. I'm talking to you, National Integrity Action. I'm talking to you, Young Jamaica. I am talking to you as well, former GenSec. My respects to you. I have no problem with your concerns about conflicts of interest. We can have that dialogue. But I didn't hear your voice, former GenSec, on many important matters. When Young Youth Organization, PNP Youth Organization, came out recently asking that Mr. Donovan Williams should step aside, I didn't hear the former GenSec of the People's National Party coming out to support the youth organization of the PNP as former GenSec. Where were you, Sister Maxine Henry? No disrespect to you, you know. But I have to ask though, when the Patriots came out and also asked for Mr. Donovan Williams to step aside until we get the truth out of the matter, where was your voice in all of this? I didn't hear Jamaica for Justice come and ask for MOCA or for the other relevant authorities to look into the very serious allegations that Miss Rosalie Hamilton came out. She is a stalwart in the Jamaica Labour Party, a column in Central Kingston. She took a bullet for the party. She came out with serious allegations against a sitting MP and a state minister. Where was the Jamaica for Justice, the NIA, the youth, the Young Jamaica, the Marlon Morgan, the former GenSec of the PNP? Where were all of those voices to come out and demand that the man step aside? Miss me with your fake outrage, because I recognize what is happening to this country. You all are operatives, many of you, for the Andrew Holness-led administration. And because many of you can be bought out, you are silent on many matters. But as soon as there seems to be something to put the People's National Party into disrepute, all of a sudden you go up here, all of a sudden you have a spine. Look at the very serious road issues that we have in this country. Only to drive on the road them too. On the front end now look out too. When Minister Vaz said that if he could breach the procurement guidelines, he would do it again. Where were the voices? Where were the voices? That is all I'm asking. It cannot be that we expect to move Jamaica forward when it comes to addressing corruption, lack of transparency, and governance, when we only pick and choose when we speak up. It cannot be that we're supposed to take governance seriously in this country, but it is only when one party is under scrutiny. Everybody has a voice. If we were serious about advocacy, Minister Vaz couldn't still be the minister after he said what he said, making no apology for breaching procurement guidelines. The procurement committee flagged the way in which the yellow buses were brought into the country. No competing invoices, no bidding, a biased way into who got the contracts to bring in the buses. Where were the voices then? How nobody now asks the university hospital to get a shake up and a shuffle up? We're making this a political matter, and that is the reason why Jamaica is in the state that it is in. Mr. Tyrone Reid, I hear you over nationwide flipping up your mouth. Where was your voice when the voice notes were leaked from Rosalie Hamilton? Allegations into arson, misappropriation of funds, illicit enrichment, even murder. And all of you silent because you have to sing for your supper. But just because there is something to be pointed at the People's National Party, all of a sudden, everybody has a voice.
What are you going to be doing about this situation? Are Jamaicans to take you seriously? You ran on an integrity ticket in the run-up to the last general elections. Are Jamaicans to take you seriously, Mr. PNP President? Have the chips fallen where they may? Weren't those the words of the PNP President? What more do you need, Mr. PNP President, for you to take decisive action?
Of course Mr. Mark Golding ran on integrity last year. You know who couldn't run on integrity last year? You know which candidate couldn't run on integrity last year? The Prime Minister of this country. You know why? You know why? Because just before the collapse of SSN, I don't hear the advocacy groups asking for the report of FinSAC. Over 106, Lord help me tonight. Lord help me tonight. Over 160 million Jamaican dollars was wasted. Wasted to produce a FinSAC report. How I don't hear Tyrone Reid and the other distributors of the filthy sandwiches over nationwide? Where are the advocacy groups? JFJ, NIA, this year A, that the A, this a meter portal and that the meter portal. Where were the voices to ask and to demand for that $160 million that was wasted? No report. Don't come here in social media with your fake outrage. All of you are playing politics and you're complicit to the corruption that is happening to this country. And this is the reason why Jamaica cannot move forward. The Auditor General said that a probe is to be launched into the procurement of the yellow buses for the rural bus program. Why none of you advocacy groups come out and ask that the minister step aside until the probe is completed. When the market means scandal happened and the Jill scandal happened, why nobody never asked for them to step aside? Mr. Holness should have never felt brave enough to put his name in the ring to be the Prime Minister of this country. And we don't know the source of your wealth. We don't know how you got to where you are. Do I have to remind you all of the serious allegations that Rosalie Hamilton aired for the world to listen? That is what it comes to, ladies and gentlemen. I stand against corruption, but I am not selective with my outrage. I am not selective with my outrage, ladies and gentlemen. I don't care what side of the fence you come from. I don't care what campaign you supported last year. If you are wrong, you are wrong. But all of you coming out now to talk.
Worthless Donovan. Bitch Donovan. Worthless Donovan. Me know your file.
What file?
Me know your file. You understand that? Worthless Donovan. Prof Donovan. Me know your file. Mongrel Donovan. Me know your file. Donovan when I come from nowhere. And the man them up a Tower Hill used to rob the yappies them and feed you and your family. I frighten you never angle money so in your life. Yeah. And you see all of them vice note, fuck with me and see if me not let them go in the public. Leave me alone, Donovan. You hear me? I want you. Me know worthless Donovan. Bitch Donovan. You forgot to when you come in at the constituency, you never have no money. And Liquor Danny used to lend you money. And you make Liquor Danny dead. You, cause the boy lend you money, and when you pay him back Christmas, you give the boy $50,000 for share for him and Fidel and Tavar. That's why Tavar and Fidel run away and eat you. And you make Danny Liquor Danny run away and go on foreign. So me know everything Liquor Danny tell me before him go away. Say him no want this you. So him a go leave you alone. Cause you was him liar. Listen Donovan. Why you think me skeptic of you? Because me know your file. The man them what your brother carry from Towel come down here. Election when you were running at the 2020. As you win the night, the man them come back the morning, come tell me, say, oh, no, sorry, Donovan in the seat. Donovan feisty, Donovan thief, Donovan mean, and Donovan lie. Yeah. And every day the man them call me and say me they tell you, Rosie, so I was sorry, Donovan in the seat because Donovan are wicked. But let me tell you something, me I get you out here, and me carry you here now. Me never know when you are coming here. Remember, them never tell me when you are coming here. You come in by night. But me wait to the place where me born and grow to take you out. And me go take you back out here. Me go take you back out here because you must lose. If you stay till election, buy your ticket. And me will meet it a whole heap of boy, girl, I deal with. So me know what to say to them and when not to say to them. Leave me alone, Donovan. You hear me, I want you? Leave me alone. Because me know you can't stay in a Central Kingston. You could have, me not even talk about Jesus. The devil on your back, you can't stay in here. Me not in a selection, me I give him the seat. But me I go run and something else cause PMP have to win the seat. JLP can't win it back. Me I make sure they not win it back. That's all me have to do. So me not in an argument with you. Me know me did have a whole Lawrence Rowe send me a text. If him can talk to me, man, talk to me about something. If I didn't know Sir Lawrence Rowe number, I wouldn't even answer it. But it never have no name on it. When I call back the number and ask, who is this? Him say Lawrence Rowe. Him want ask me a question. Lawrence Rowe ask me, tell me, say Chris and Ramon, the list of the Raytown division, people them will forget the $20,000. Him gave Alia 100 paper forms for fill out. And Alia do all kind of things with the farm them and stupidness, and him give them to Ramon and Chris, and now the people them now go get the benefits because it late and the farms them not do. I ask Lawrence Rowe, why you bringing that argument to me? I have nothing to do with no farms. When una do no things, una never tell me nothing. Wanna bring. But guess what? Him Lawrence Rowe going like him smart. Him a try to feel me out if me and Alia and Chris and Ramon in a dialogue. So him want know if on a circle is trustworthy. Your circle, Donovan Williams, not trustworthy because you have Lawrence Rowe and they will walk and talk everything. Him a carry news to you and him a carry news to everybody else. So your circle will never private. Never. Because Donovan, me know every single thing where you do, how you do, when you do, where you do. You ask them where you have around you. If me didn't make them know nothing where me I do anytime at all. Them get duties for execute. Them never get duties. Them never be a part of no decision making. Because me know me did have a whole heap of boy girl I deal with. Lawrence Rowe.
Ladies and gentlemen, so how is it? With even the silence, thank you, calligraphy, the president of the Jamaica Labour Party, who is the prime minister of the country, with all of these serious allegations. Listen to me now, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me now, ladies and gentlemen. And you don't come out to address this? You don't come out to address allegations of illicit enrichment? You don't come out to address that? I'm trying to understand how it makes sense. That's what I'm trying to understand, ladies and gentlemen. Your silence on this matter, Mr. Prime Minister, is very telling. Allegations of burning down people's property or houses so MP can come buy them. I don't understand. So how did we get to this, ladies and gentlemen? Where we put party over country. Just because you support the Jamaica Labour Party, you are going to bypass true justice. At the set reach now, ladies and gentlemen. At the set reach now. Me play it again.
Me know your file.
Listen.
Me know your file. You understand that? Worthless Donovan. Prof Donovan. Me know your file. Mongrel Donovan. Me know your file. Donovan when I come from nowhere. And the man them up a Tower Hill used to rob the yappies them and feed you and your family. I frighten you never angle money in your life. Yeah. And you see all of them vice noter? Fuck with me.
You're there.
And see if me not let them go into the public.
You're there.
Leave me alone, Donovan. You hear me, I warn you? Me know worthless Donovan. Bitch Donovan.
You're there.
Worthless Donovan. Me know your file. Me know your file. You understand that? Worthless Donovan. Prof Donovan. Me know your file. Mongrel Donovan. Me know your file. Donovan when I come from nowhere. And the man them up a Tower Hill used to rob the yappies them and feed you and your family. I frighten you never angle money in your life. Yeah. And you see all of them vice noter, fuck with me. And see if me not let them go into the public. Leave me alone, Donovan. You hear me? I want you. Me know worthless Donovan. Bitch Donovan. Worthless Donovan. Me know your file. Me know your file. You understand that? Worthless Donovan. Prof Donovan. Me know your file. Mongrel Donovan. Me know your file. Donovan when I come from nowhere. And the man, you forgot to...
Listen to these things, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm saying to myself, how is it that we can have this, because nobody can tell me that this is not coordinated, you know. All the advocacy groups come out. Listen to what Mr. Marlon Morgan said in a press release. Listen, ladies and gentlemen.
PNP President Mark Golding's PNP President Mark Golding's prolonged inaction in dealing with the deepening scandal concerning the unlawful use of the University Hospital of the West Indies tax exemption status, which has engulfed a company owned by the PNP's Region 3 chairman, Dennis Gordon, is totally unacceptable. It has been known in the public domain for several months and again reconfirmed during a meeting this past Tuesday of the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament, the PAC, that Jack Den Limited repeatedly benefited from what the Auditor General confirmed to be the unlawful use of the UHWI's tax exemption status.
Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot make this up. So here is my closing statement on this. Here is my closing statement on this. And again, this is the reason why corruption will continue. Because when our advocacy groups should have been advocating for Jamaica on all matters, they remain silent on some. So all of a sudden, nobody cares about the facts anymore. Nobody is calling for the resignation of several of the ministers. Look how much time the Auditor General flag ministries left, right and center. We heard it in the Ministry of Education, in the Ministry of Culture and Entertainment. We heard it in the Ministry of Energy. We hear it in the Ministry of Health. The Auditor General, ladies and gentlemen, has flagged several ministries. Mismanagement over PN. Didn't you remember we did that show? My God. So I'm asking, ladies and gentlemen, how is it that these advocates, you didn't see this in the news? You never see these in the news? Can I speak tonight, ladies and gentlemen? As of early 2006, Jamaica's Auditor General, Sister Ellis, has flagged several government ministries and entities for issues ranging from severe accountability failures to alleged mismanagement of funds. Help me tonight, Jesus. I know you're working tonight. If we're going to split justice, split the justice. Jack, then if you're in a fraud, you feel go jail. But I can't call for you to go to prison, and I can't call for you to step down from the PAC when Customs and the Auditor General say it is not you wrong, it is the University Hospital wrong. I can't call for you and I can't beat you yet. But what I can beat, ladies and gentlemen, is the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology and Transport. The Special Audit Unit, the SAU, is investigating allegations of mismanagement within these ministries, with assessments expected to be completed in the first quarter of the fiscal year 2026-2027. Why the advocacy group them don't ask for these ministers to step aside? How them not step aside? Let me continue. Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, no infrastructure development, flagged for slow responses to audit reports regarding climate change initiatives and excessive delays in providing information to auditors. What is it that you are hiding? Where are the advocacy groups, Young Jamaica, Marlon Morgan, former PNP Secretary Sister Maxine Henry, to come out and ask for these ministers to step aside? Should I continue, Perspective family? Should I continue, my Perspective family? The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management, which was moved for a time in the Office of the Prime Minister, flagged for failing to document in its inventory over 58 million in food, tarpaulin and water purchased for hurricane relief. Where were the advocates? Where was the former PNP Gensec? Where was Marlon Morgan? Where was Jamaica for Justice, National Integrity Actor, whatever they want to name, and all the others? Where were all of you to ask for these ministers to step aside until the investigations are complete? Should I continue? Unaccounted funds. A review of reports covering up to 2024 revealed roughly 1.7 trillion in spending by various government entities, including the Ministries of Health and Wellness, Education and Youth, and Labor and Social Security, that was not properly accounted for. Roughly, it can be more, can be less. 1.7 trillion with a T. Where were the advocates, Marlon Morgan, Nationwide, former PNP Gensec, all the advocacy groups, Jamaica for Justice, NIA, and all the abbreviations? Where were you to come and ask for the people at the helm of these ministries, administrators, and other members to step aside? Should I continue? Procurement and hiring. The Tourism Product Development Company was criticized for lack of transparency in hiring. I own a friend alone now hire, with executives recruited despite lacking required qualifications. Where did we see this happen before? History has a way of repeating itself. Didn't a certain individual got a certain position after the qualifications required or the requirements were changed to suit him so that he could be at the head of it? when a certain matter was being investigated? How many years nobody asked for them people to step down? Should I continue, ladies and gentlemen? It is a disgrace. It is a disgrace. The housing initiative by the Prime Minister of this country, the Prime Minister's flagship social housing program, was flagged for providing overlapping, duplicated services, resulting in inefficient use of resources, wasting people's money and resources. And the Auditor General has consistently emphasized that failure to submit mandatory appropriation accounts prevents an independent assessment of how public funds are utilized. Ladies and gentlemen, tell all of those advocacy groups, Mal and Morgan, and all of them, Young Jamaica G2K, to miss me with the selective outrage. You're playing politics. But I'm not playing politics. I am willing to stand up for justice, brotherhood, and peace. And I don't care who is at fault. I will call wrong wrong and right right. You cannot say the same. Because many of you are bought out. Them buy you no out. You've danced with the devil for so long. One night he followed you home. So he resides with you. Therefore you cannot come out and split justice with your advocacy. No wonder Jamaica is in the state that it is in today. We heard no advocacy group come out and talk about the Jamaica College student that was bullied by a gang of 5. Let me talk tonight. None of them never come say nothing. After the young man was beaten to a pulp, none of you came out and said it. What kind of advocacy are you talking about? But once you feel like you can get political leverage, or you can score political points, you come and grandstand before the public. You are all a disgrace to this nation. And that is the reason why God is going to shape this country. That's the reason why God must shape this country and justice must be served. I don't hear not one of you made an article about the silence regarding the Ruel Reed's case. Not one of you come say anything. Not one. So what are you going on about? You are all a disgrace. You are all a disgrace. And that is the reason why, ladies and gentlemen, corruption will continue to thrive in the land. Because the people who should be advocating, who should be pressuring our leaders to do what is right, they have chosen their sides. I'm not talking about who you choose to vote for. I support the PNP. But when it comes to wrong versus right, I have no sides. When it comes to standing up for poor people, for the vulnerable, and for what is right, I don't have no side. Look how much illicit people running a palm sitting in parliament today. What happened to that? Wasting money on reports. There's no report. Can you imagine, ladies and gentlemen? And these are our advocates. These are our... Should I continue? the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining. The ministry was flagged for nearly 870 million in contracts awarded without no proper oversight. Procurement breaches, the contracts totaling 868.85 million were awarded without evidence that the procurement committee ever met to review them. Financial irregularities, the internal auditors identified at 1.45 million in improper payments diverted to third parties by a senior manager, and 2.1 million was unaccounted for due to missing documentation at the Fisheries Division and Castleton Botanical Gardens. And here is the poor excuse that came from the ministry. The ministry claimed that round-robin virtual meetings were held during the COVID-19 pandemic, but the minutes were inadvertently overwritten on their system. Where were the advocates to advocate for these ministers to step aside? Mismanagement allegations at the ministry, climate and infrastructure. You hear what them say? It was cited, the Ministry of Infrastructure Development was cited for delaying a performance audit on climate change adaptation by 5 months. And we could go on and on and on. You don't hear the advocacy groups asking for people to step down over by the university hospital, coming and talking about documents wash up in a flood. You don't hear them coming out to ask for these directors and senior members of the university hospital to take accountability for their lack of documentation. But because of politics, you ignore these other issues. You're clutching at straws, Jamaica Labour Party, and it is showing that the JLP, they have lost significant political credibility and relevance. The fact that you're willing to grab at these straws tells me quite a lot. You have no political relevance. You have no vision. You have no amount of plan. No plans for the nation. You prefer to play politics. You prefer. Now listen, this is what I'm going to say too. To the People's National Party. To the opposition. You see this thing with Donovan Williams? You see these serious allegations in Donovan Williams? You see why we cannot allow conversations to die out? You see why we have to continue the conversations? Are we going to see a series being done on these serious allegations regarding Mr. Donovan Williams? The other day we applauded Dr. Dawes for his series into the serious procurement breaches at the university hospital. And it was because of the consistent advocacy. It was for the consistent advocacy that has brought us to a place where we could unearth a whole lot of irregularities by the university hospital. PNP, opposition, Mr. Golden, let us not allow these conversations to die out. rally up a team of young people, take to social media, call for an investigation into the serious allegations made by Rosalie Hamilton. And we're not calling for this because they're calling for the stepping down from Mr. Dennis. That's not why we're asking for this. It is because it is the right thing to do. It is the right thing to do. These are serious allegations. Mr. Integrity Boss, you are certainly the man with more integrity if we should compare you and Mr. Wholeness. We need to hear your voice on this matter regarding Mr. Donovan Williams. We saw the press release of the PNP. We heard the YO. We heard the Patriots. Patriots, YO. Let your voices be heard again. Address the selective outrage that we're seeing from the Jamaica Labour Party. Address the fake outrage by Young Jamaica and Mr. Marlon Morgan. Oh, how embarrassing. Now is not the time for selective advocacy. None of you people are coming to call out the government on the millions of dollars that is being wasted on our roads. I saw none of you advocates come out to address the stupid roofs program that had poor people and old people traveling from all over to come to one location to get the money, the vouchers. Where were the voices to address Mr. Pernell Charles Jr. on the incompetence shown in the logistics of the roofs program? One man said he had to travel 4 times, wasting money, spending what they don't have. Nobody to say anything. Nobody to speak up. Nobody to lend a voice. But when it comes to attacking the orange, that is when everybody find them voice and find them boldness. It is hypocrisy at its highest. It is embarrassing. It is a shame. It is a disgrace. And that is the reason why I have no hope that Jamaica will get better under this administration. Because if the head of the stream is corrupt,
Our first social media question tonight comes from Instagram. Shania in Kingston, she says, low voter turnout suppresses the effectiveness of a democratic society. Many Jamaicans refuse to vote because they believe both parties are corrupt. What would you say to the significant population of non-voters? And if elected, how will you hold politicians accountable for offenses against the people instead of protecting them?
So in this instance, the question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Corruption is a serious problem in our country. And corruption requires strong leadership. From my position as Prime Minister, I have taken action against any member of my political party that has been involved or accused of anything that suggests corruption. In my own case, I have been investigated for a year with an expert forensic auditor. The findings of that report have suggested no corruption. There have been no charges. Every aspect of my report, every aspect of my personal life and my personal financial details are in the public domain. I am the politician about which Jamaica knows the most. And therefore, I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. And I want to give this assurance to the Jamaican people that you know me, you know about me, you can trust me, and you know that I stand against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well. Within
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account, that your companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed it. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that has been asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism and cronyism. The volume of scandals under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over the number of ministers who have had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked. It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified, also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of time, but I'm going to say this as I go. Let us keep the advocacy objective. We cannot have selective outrage. We cannot pick and choose when we speak up. There are several serious matters happening in this country, specifically where the Andrew Holness-led administration is concerned. Advocates, so you say, let your voices be heard on other matters. To Mr. Dennis, so far I cannot condemn you because the Auditor General and the Jamaica Customs said that they cannot hold you or the companies at fault. It doesn't make any sense. I go to find out if labor rights own other companies. The reports say that they cannot fault the private companies. The university hospital is at fault, and that is where I am leaving that until proven otherwise. It is on that basis I wouldn't necessarily ask Mr. Dennis Gordon to step from the PAC meeting. We see other persons still holding ministerial titles, still sitting in parliament, still participating in all sorts of things, and they are not stepping down. Those who are currently under investigation. So I'm not going to be a hypocrite and ask the man to step down when we have others still sitting in there. Madness, stupidness, rubbish. But I am going to caution. I caution against corruption, avoiding the paying of taxes and things of that nature. The country needs the resources. We need the money. We're already going to be paying $18 billion in taxes. The NHT will be raided. Pay your taxes so that Jamaica can be built back better than before, so that we can ease the pressure. And that is my advocacy. That is the advocacy you will get from the perspective. Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks for another opportunity to advocate on behalf of the people of this country, to look deeply into certain matters, to call out injustice and facades. Lord, we see all that is happening, and we recognize that a lot of our leaders and a lot of these so-called organizations for advocacy, they pick and choose what they advocate for and advocate on. That is dangerous to the progress of this nation. We need the unfiltered truth. We need people who are willing to split justice right down the middle. We cannot pick and choose what we advocate for or against. Lord, do a washing in this country. Sift this government. Run through these organizations and these so-called advocacy groups. Let us get rid of corruption once and for all from this government. It is possible. We can have leaders who will do right by the people. It is happening in other places. We hear of Australia, Singapore, Japan, and other places. Corruption doesn't have to be the norm in this nation. We can do better. Eternal Father, bless our land. Guard us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers and be our light through countless hours. Jamaica is in a dark time. But we are looking to you, the author and the finisher of our faith, even in this season. This day being considered Holy Thursday, tomorrow being considered Good Friday. And we know many Jamaicans are very observant of the times. As we reflect on what you did on the cross for humanity, we are asking you, Lord, that you will remind us of the gift that you gave mankind, so that we could have a hope to be with you in glory. We're asking for you, Lord, to really wash us and cleanse us as a nation again. Bring us back to our first love. One of the reasons why Jamaica is in the state that it is in today is because Jamaica has fallen from grace and we are a backslidden nation. We have a form of godliness, but we deny the power thereof. Help us, Lord, to get it right, so that we can have the boldness, the spine, the courage to say no to corruption. These and other mercies we ask of you, in Jesus' name. And let the people say amen and amen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking and staying with me. This is The Perspective, and you know that I'm your host, Perry Cummings Jr. Tomorrow, you will get a pre-recorded session, as I will be at a concert. I will be at an Easter convocation, ministering, doing the work of the Lord. So I hope you will appreciate that. If I'm able to jump on, I will do so live from my phone. But let us see how the day pan out. But thank you so much for sticking and staying with me. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and check out the other content if you've not yet done so. Be blessed. Bye-bye. Keep safe.
The Perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective, telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal, look where Jamaica come to. Them rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. Mr. Prime Minister, are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this is my perspective, telling you my
Apathy.